0 to nothing means something like a powerful eruption that happens sudden. The things we love on. Give me something better than nothing. Let's prove. Trying to prove nothing, but I've got something better than nothing. I'm no hero, just a zero. It's 0 to nothing. 0 to nothing. 0 to nothing. 0 to nothing.
Hello guys, Snoop Zero back, and today I want to talk about why I love fighting games. And we're going to start on the Super Nintendo because that's where my love grew for them. The origin of it did start in the arcade for one specific game, and that's what we'll start with. And then from there, we'll look at the different fighting games that influenced me to love them even more. There's no specific order in this. I'm not doing like a top 10 or a top 20, any of that stuff. I'm just going to list the ones that influenced me, and I'll try to put them in the order the best that I can when I got them. The best that I can remember. It's been a while. Anyway, guys, let's get into the video. I hope you enjoyed. The first real game that influenced me to start loving fighting games, of course, was the original first Street Fighter. I remember seeing it in an arcade. All I had at home was a Nintendo. I didn't have a Super Nintendo yet, but I saw this game and I thought, wow, this is a unique game. It had two big-ass buttons. One was red and one was blue, and you had to hit them hard to get them to do a fierce attack on screen. It was extremely hard to pull off moves because you had to time it with those weird buttons. Thankfully later that was changed. Anyway guys, Street Fighter is the origin of me loving fighting games.
Round 2.
When I first seen this game in the arcade, I thought it was amazing. The graphics look amazing. The sound was amazing. It was awesome. Of course, we couldn't spend all our time in the arcade. We were just kids. We didn't have jobs, of course. And so when it finally came out at home, a friend of mine had it. He had a Super Nintendo before me. I only had a Nintendo. But we played this all summer. I borrowed it, took it home, played the crap out of it, learned how to do a Dragon Punch. First time I ever did was on this game. When this game came out, there was still a lot of hype around Street Fighter II. Street Fighter II Championship came out. And then I remember seeing this, I believe it was either a Nintendo Power or Game Informer, back when they were good, by the way, talking about this game. So when Clay Fighter came out, I had to get it. Me and my friends played a lot of Clay Fighter. The controls aren't the best, but it is a pretty funny game.
Hey, what's the hair, man? Hey, what's the hair, man? What a close one! Blue Suede Goo wins the battle. Thank you. Come on, baby. Don't be cruel now. Oh, mama. Oh, mama. Hey, what's the hair, man? Hey, what's the hair, man? Oh, mama. Don't be cruel now. Oh, mama. Oh, mama. Finish him! Oh, mama. Hey, what's the hair, man? Wade Goo wins the battle.
There was a quick shop down the street from me that cycled out games, and the first time I ever seen Street Fighter II Turbo was in that quick shop. And now that I had my first job, I could buy the game.
Round 2, fight! Hadouken! Shodown fire! Shodown! Shoryuken! 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 Hadouken! Hadouken!
Back in the days of arcade, there were two kings of fighting games. One was Capcom, and of course the other was SNK. And a friend of mine now had a Neo Geo system he borrowed from another friend of his. So that was the first time I really got to play Art of Fighting, besides seeing it in the arcade. But the problem was Neo Geo was extremely expensive. So the second we caught wind of Art of Fighting being ported to Super Nintendo, I could not wait. And when I got the game, I was mesmerized by the sprite size and the way the game would zoom in and out. When Mortal Kombat came out in the arcade, it changed everything for fighting games for me. It looked so realistic. So of course when I heard that it was coming home to the Super Nintendo, I could not wait. When we got our hands on it, we realized it was censored. But we got over that soon because it looked like the arcade and sounded like the arcade. And eventually a Game Genie code came out where you could turn the sweat red. So we really didn't care that it was censored at the time.
Come here! Scorpion wins.
Now back to SNK. One of the best looking and sounding games they had was Samurai Shodown. When I seen this in the arcade, the way that it sounded and looked was amazing. And then it was ported to the Super Nintendo, and of course I had to get my hands on it. And this is still one of my favorite games of all time. It didn't matter to me that in this one, they didn't zoom in and out as the characters moved. They pushed this game to the limit. It sounds great. I'm going to play a full match on one of my favorite stages just so you can hear the sound.
When Super Street Fighter II came out in the arcade, it was impressive to see that massive sprite of Ryu on the screen. Different sound and new characters made the game even more awesome than we thought. When we finally brought it home and I seen what they had on screen with Ryu all huge like the arcade, I really felt like I had the arcade at home. We played the crap out of this game.
Tiger uppercut! Tiger! Tiger uppercut! Tiger! 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 You win! Tiger uppercut! Tiger! Tiger!
World Heroes and World Heroes 2 is a game I seen in a Shopco. They used to have a arcade machine they'd cycle out, and it usually had a lot of SNK games. But this is one of them that I was just amazed with. It was like Street Fighter with different odd characters. So when it came home, of course, I had to own this one too. I was hoping that they'd bring out World Heroes 2 Jet, but sadly that never happened. When I first seen Mortal Kombat 2 in the arcade, it sparked the same feelings I had for Mortal Kombat 1. This game looked amazing, sound amazing. The graphics were even better. It was even gorier. So of course when the game came out for home, I bought it immediately. I had my job at Shopco and that's when I bought it as soon as it was released, staring at the box before I even got home.
Round 2. Fight. Finish him. Scorpion wins. Fatality.
Before the Nintendo 64 was released, there was hype around it being called the Ultra 64 and the power that it had. One of those games that was showcased off a demo that a friend of mine got a hold of was Killer Instinct. Now, when it came home, it wasn't exactly what we thought when we saw the arcade version, but it was still an excellent game, still one of my favorites to this day. Around this time, Capcom was revamping their Street Fighter series, giving them a new look and a new sound. And Street Fighter Alpha 2 was one of the best at the time. When I heard it was coming to the Super Nintendo, I thought that was impossible. But when I got my hands on it, I was amazed at what they did. I could not believe how much from the arcade was in here. Now, there was a lot of sound missing and everything, but it was still impressive, because a friend of mine had it on PlayStation, and I showed him on the Super Nintendo, and both of us just did not understand how this was even possible. Still one of my favorite games on the Super Nintendo to this day.
Round 2, fight!
Alright guys, those are the fighting games on Super Nintendo that really influenced me to love them even more to this day. Of course, more systems, more fighting games came out, and that also helped. What are your favorite fighting games, if you like fighting games? Or just tell me what your favorite game is and how it maybe influenced you to like games today. Anyway guys, that's all I got for you. I'm Noob Zero, and I'm out till next time.